at most used $1,000 to $2,000, $3,000 tops. I get one of these used. Now, typically they're not good for more than 250,000 miles, and I got a high mileage model, but I got lucky. This one already had everything that can go wrong with it go wrong and been repaired. So it's got a new front and back transfer case. It runs like a beauty. Changed out the spark plugs, changed out the front coil pack, changed the synthetic, put an oil filter on, reset the computer. I'm getting no error codes whatsoever. The idiot light is not coming on. I had it come on once for saying that it's too rich because I revved it too hard. Apparently it's a common problem with Dodge's sensors. This car is not a sports car, and if you try to treat it as such and floor it too much, it'll cause the idiot light to come on even though there's nothing wrong with the vehicle. So I might change out the O2 sensor. The O2 sensor seems fine, but it could be what's causing the fault. And it was a farm vehicle. They were moving equipment around, has a tow hitch, and they were traveling their dogs around, so I pulled probably about a pound of dog fur out of here. Cleaned the seats, put some seat covers in, and typically, you know, no one wants to buy a used Dodge as a cash car, but I did. So I'm going to be tinkering with it. Dodge is notoriously bad for their plastics, as you can see right there. But surprisingly enough, the actual front right here, the dashboard, it's got no cracks, not one. So I've been investing heavily on trying to get this thing to look good and working with the age of the vehicle. So I'm going to be changing out the stereo system, putting the one for my CR-V in here. The only thing I don't like is I'm probably going to have to modify and cut this out myself with a little grinder. But all in all, for $1,500, I think I won pretty good. So the seats got a little bit of a rip on the driver's side. Passenger seats, rear seats are perfectly fine. As you can see back here, a couple stained carpet. I bought new floor mats, but remarkably well for $1,500. So, and just like anyone that owns a mediocre vehicle, it's got to have a good sound system. So I plan on winging it and wiring it up kind of similar to the way I had the CR-V. I learned a little bit from it. I'm not a professional, I just want to make that clear. So if you try to copy anything I do, it's on you. I am not responsible for anything that might cause fires or anything, you know, as such. I'm going with a higher gauge wire. I'm going with 0 gauge. Up to 5,000 watts is what the wire will have. I'm going to be trying to wire my own wire harness on and then attaching my head unit in. And I'm going to try to record as much as I possibly can on all details of what I'm doing. I'm also going to try, in this vehicle, unlike my CR-V, I'm going to try to actually hide the amps. So as I get closer to that phase, I want to be lifting the seats up and trying to get a good gauge of where I could hide the amps. Because I want to camp in this vehicle. It actually doesn't have a third row seat. It has a storage bin. And I will quickly show that. Been shopping around all day for wires and tools, but you can see I could hide the amps, but they won't be well ventilated, which has kind of got me concerned. I might try to install fans, but right now this is my top bet, is I might stick my amps inside this bin right here and stick a ventilation system and wire it, a little fan controller, kind of similar to what you have in a PC. And I don't know if I really want to tear the box up, but I might have it where I have a gap that's always there to let it breathe and have some airflow. But I like the idea, if I want to be able to close it, because I want to drop the seats and lay down in here and camp. because I have the towing capacity now. I'm thinking about getting a boat. I also have a roof rack on here so I can tow my kayaks around. So the excitement is real, and I'm going to try to get this puppy dressed, ready, and ready to jam out. So when I go on long road trips. The front and rear transfer case on these vehicles, they leak. And if they leak, you got to take it off, replace the seal, and check the gears. I have not done that because both front and back transfer cases on this thing are either new used or just because they're perfectly fine. Also, the transmission looks like it's never been touched, like it's brand spanking new. So the previous owners took care of this vehicle. So I took a risk, and I feel like I won out. So I just want to show y'all real quick, if y'all do plan on getting this vehicle. I want to pop the hood real quick. I'm going to show y'all something real quick. Dodge has got a flaw in its design. The window has a seal that runs along right here. The seal goes bad relatively quickly. And when it rains, the rainwater will run down and onto the engine block. And then it'll go in where your spark plugs are, where the coil packs are. And it'll basically shorten the life of the motor. When I first bought her, it was misfiring. Misfiring two pistons. So she would shudder. But she was driving fine on the way home, but she shuddered every once in a while. And you know, I had about 16 faults on misfiring inside the memory. So, okay. So the rainwater runs down from the window underneath that seal and onto the back of the engine block. And you see it's slightly discolored. That's from moisture getting on the engine. And it goes into your coil packs. At the end of each one of those is your spark plugs. The spark plugs that were in here were in horrible condition, almost completely worn out. So I switched out the spark plugs, moved the coil packs, and put the good ones in the back, and I changed out the O-rings and put the bad ones in the front. And she purrs like a kitten now. Changed out the oil to 5W30, full synthetic, put a full synthetic oil filter on there. Air filter was good. And we've been checking the computer system every couple of days. If we have an error code come out, we immediately attack it and see if there's anything wrong. So, yeah, there's a wasp nest down there that I haven't cleaned out. But she's been purring and she's been running good. So hopefully I got a relatively decent cash car to get me to point A and point B. And hopefully those off-duty officers are found liable, and I can get a little bit of cash from my crashed vehicle, and I can turn this thing into a nice little country beast. The rat nest. Alright, so this is my test run. You see I got the bypass on there. The blue wire is the wire that tells the amps to turn on. For some reason, they're blue and white on here in the schematic. I don't know, it's weird, but this is going to be, yeah, hopefully I don't burn myself alive here. Rat nest, rat nest. Alive, burn alive. That's not good. It's not coming on. Something is not right. I gotta remember, I was in a car wreck. This head unit, good chance I probably fucking burnt it out. Come on, bitch. Why the hell do they make these fuses so hard to get out? Come on. Look, there we go. Is it possible? Oh, that fuse looks good. Something is wrong with my wiring. I gotta figure out what the hell it is. Alright. A little bit of problem solving here. There's the Pioneer connector. And normally the red is the power. Alright, I think I solved the problem. And hopefully I don't kill myself doing this. I had to splice into the cigarette lighter. I think the red-blue one is the power. So that's going to my red cable in the back of the Pioneer. Apparently it needs a constant power input instead of just a 12 data input. I tried looping it because it has two 12 data input connectors. For some reason, I guess for extra amp or a navigation system. But it does not give enough power to power the unit. I have to have one plugged into the red. So I'm stealing power from the lighter. And this is risky, but it's my best bet. Because I'm missing the red, I'm missing the power cable. So that's just a weird design, but here we go. Test run. Come on, baby. Aha! Got it. Alright. So you have to steal power from somewhere else. I'm going to go on CD, see if I hear audio. Alright, so only one speaker is working, which was normal because I only had one speaker working before. I think the factory amp in this thing is messed up. But one thing at a time. Alright, that's good news. I got the head unit up and running. So I've discovered something quite disturbing about the comparison to the head unit I want to put in there, the Pioneer. Let me turn my radio off real quick. Alright, back to what I was saying. If you look at the head units, this one's considerably smaller, and it's tapered, so it slides in and bumps up. Alright. The unit, the newer head unit, does not fit. It is larger. So the factory unit is considerably thinner. So that means modifications to this pan, this plastic thing right here. And I can tell you that I'm not looking forward to it. What I'm thinking about doing is cutting the little taper part off right there on both sides. Maybe just cut the back off and leave in the front to try to give it some support so it doesn't bounce around. It is annoying. Actually, I might cheat. I might just cut it in half back here in the back. Sorry, it spilled oil back here a while back, so everything's getting greasy. I probably might cut the back in half so it opens up and I can force the head unit in more. But yeah, that's a really screwed up design. So yeah, that's gonna happen right now. So another thing I'm having a problem is that the kit that came with this, I don't think it's the right kit. If you look right here, there's a little pin that's supposed to slide right there, but it doesn't, because of this bitch is not, it's not like the right plate. It's So, alright, so I cut it in half, got a little mouth right there. So it'll open it up and allow the head unit. I might still be able to get those two bottom screws on there as supports. But God, man, that's so annoying. So hopefully it'll swell up. See, absolutely madness to get a head unit in this vehicle. Chrysler really did not want you. There we go. See, now it's fitting. All right. Now the question is, is the bracket. How am I going to get that bracket to work? All right. This is super janky, or super jank. What do you want to call it? It is what I got. See if this puppy will work real quick. So open the mouth in the back. There we go. Alright, so it's not lining up. Wow. Huh. Now I know why those are so wide. But I'm on to something. I'm going to try those now. Okay, with trial and error and heavy toying around, I finally got it to line up. I had to cut the tabs off. I don't know if you can see with the camera. I had to cut the tabs off. And you have to kind of screw it in and snug it. But it will line up with all four sides. And you can see the mouth on the back is open. So I'm going to do a test fit and see if that gap causes any kind of issue in the dash. I don't think it will. And all this modifying has got me paranoid about the face panel. That face panel's got me it's got me paranoid. So I might be able to get the head unit mounted in there, but to line it up with this, I mean, that could be anywhere. It could be up here, it could be floating too low, too high. But hopefully I got the screws lined up. All I gotta do is just trim the edges. That should work. Okay, so that's what it looks like. It's janky. Cut the back, and it's able to open up. And the way I have those brackets on there, it fits. I don't know if it's sitting too low, or if it's too high, or if it's right in the middle. But I got a feeling it's as good as I'm going to get it. I'm going to have to cut out that dashboard panel, and probably do that next. But what I really want is to know if I can get this thing to sync the Bluetooth, because I bought that bypass, and this is an older vehicle. It does not have all the fancy dancy brake and reverse camera and all that other stuff, so it has no way to communicate to the head unit. So I haven't been able to use Bluetooth. So this is what's important to me. I want to know if I can get Bluetooth working. I'm going to get a rundown. I ran my mic cable along the trim, down the edge, and underneath the panel right here. I put two cable ties that are wrapped around that plastic holding tray, mold, whatever you want to call it, that I cut in half. I wrapped it around there so it's kind of taut, so I won't get caught on my feet when I hit the brakes. And I actually got the Bluetooth to work, so I'm very excited about that. I could not get it to work with the CRV, That means I can listen to tunes from my phone. I got the amp communication wire and 3 amp wires coming out of the back of the head unit. I got this one's going to be my front, the blue is going to be my second, and I'm going to put a cable tie around that one to notify me that that is the sub. So that's going to go to a relay kind of similar to what I had in the CRV. So my next task is to cut out that faceplate, that panel. And just to give a demonstration, that bypass, I'm actually really shocked it worked, because it makes absolutely no sense how that bypass works. Okay. So that pretty much is the conclusion. I'm going to try to do the panel right after I get done filming this little segment, and might make a short video of that. Then I might call it quits. I'm going to run 0 gauge from the battery through the firewall. I'm going to try to hide the wires under this. Anyways, I'm actually kind of getting exhausted. I don't know what it is. There's like humidity coming off the Golf or what, but it is hotter than normal outside, and it's getting to me. So I found something out that is very fascinating. It almost fits. The top fits fine. I got all the wires plugged in for the heater and air conditioner, right? Except the very rim right there. Right there on the edge. So I can get it over the top, but not the bottom. So I can get almost completely on there, except that bottom part. So I'm just going to trim this back bezel part right here along the back. Alright, final update on this annoying front panel. You can see I cut that edge bezel off. Fits fine on the top. The bottom is very, I'm going to use that term again, jank. As you can see, try not to blind out my camera here, but you can see right there, you can't see the Pioneer. I could probably cut a little bit more off and sand it to make it look even, make it look good. And I might do that in the future. I want to leave it the way it is for now. I'm just trying to get my stereo up and running. My next project is the amps. It's not blocking or touching any buttons. Touch screen is still usable. And I can still use the remote. I think I can use the remote. I don't know where is that remote sensor down there on the bottom. I could be wrong. Could be the remote sensor is below the bezel, which is annoying. But regardless, I got it in there. It does fit. It just needs some more modification. I gotta take another 250 thousandths. Let's go about 180. About 180 down, and it would probably fit perfectly. And I plan on doing that eventually in the future. Mostly because I just don't like the way it looks right now. It's very fugly. I thought about cutting a big square out, but knowing my my scale, it'll probably be crooked and ugly. So I don't know if I want to invest in a whole new front panel, because it is technically a cheap car, but I do want to drive it for a long time, and this might bother me. It might get on my nerves. But I mean, I gotta say, and I'm pretty sure they probably heard it already, that I don't understand what the engineers were thinking at Dodge, but I mean, how could you be so close? I mean, just a microscopically minuscule amount larger, and this thing would have been compatible with like 90% of all the head units. Yet, I mean, look at it. It fits perfectly fine on the top. But the bottom, I had to cut that stupid pan behind there. It's just, I don't know what kind of crack the engineer was thinking when he designed this front panel, this head unit. But yeah, I guess it's something Chrysler does. They make everything very close to being universal and then just knock it off a slight peg just to irritate people. But at least this vehicle, as far as I can tell, doesn't have like torque screws or funky Ford nuts or anything like that. But I guess I'll find out in the future. So far, everything's been pretty much metrical and symmetric and, you know, standard and, you know, 5/8 and 10/6, you know, whatever. Everything has been pretty good everywhere else. But, man, the head unit, I really hope that the new ones are designed better than this because, ouch, that looks jank beyond jank. Resting just behind that plastic it kind of kills the symmetry a little bit, you know what I mean? I don't like that. So I might invest in the future with the whole plastic piece right here. Possibly. So, but anyways, that's the end of my first video on this. I'm going to start working on the amp in the next couple of days. I'm actually going to try to find the factory amp. I know there's one in here somewhere. At least according to the forums there is. I do not know where it's located. I'm pretty sure that it's probably burnt up. So I might just bypass it, the speakers in the door, and run some lines to amps in the back. And just ignore the built-in amplifier to my head unit. So I'll try it first. I'll try changing out the front speakers and see if they'll get them working. That'll be my step one. Step two would be getting the 4 satellite speakers in the back up and running, which would probably be the easiest part. I might actually do that first. So yeah, this is my ghetto install of a Pioneer head unit into a very, very annoying bay on a Dodge Durango. So I hope you enjoy this video. I'll post my last video of when I installed my stereo system in my CRV, and I'll update y'all on some problems I found out later on about it because some of the cables were overheating. So I want to be doing a little bit more, I guess you can say, more thermal headroom, more capacity on the wiring. I'm going 0 gauge, 17 feet. I want to do a better grounding, possibly multiple groundings, just in case, you know, one is not really secure. And then I'm also going to try to hide the amps in this vehicle. So that's something I've never done before. So that means I'm probably going to be pulling up panels and really trying to work my way around the little intricacies of this this behemoth, this tank. So I really don't want to, I do not want to show off my my amps. Kind of want to be a little bit hidden because I want to camp in this vehicle. So I got a couple more little steps, little things I want to do, little irritations, like this carpet thing that I got today for the dashboard, the top of the dashboard here, because Dodge or Chrysler in general is notoriously bad at their plastics cracking, and I have a tendency to forget to put the sunshade up. So I got that carpet. So anyways, keep in touch. Hope you liked my video. Like and subscribe, I guess, and later.